a U.S. judge overturned a 6-week abortion ban. The judge out in Bismarck in North Dakota, I think it's North Dakota, several states like North Dakota have decided, we're going to put a ban on abortion at 6 weeks. Most women don't even know that they're pregnant at 6 weeks. I've talked to some people and they say, oh yeah, well I would know I was pregnant at 6 weeks. Well, good for you. But there's a lot of women out there that don't. So the fact is that they say that they're going to try to ban women from getting a legal abortion, which is in our Constitution. So they can't provide this service. So the fact that the judge said, hey, you know what? This is unconstitutional, and you're putting a heavy burden on women who want to get an abortion because of either health issues or whatever reason. They should be able to get one no matter what the reason is, because it is constitutionally protected. Crystal, your thoughts?
Oh, this story is right up my alley. North Dakota parallels what North Carolina does a whole lot. The same thing is happening in my own state that's happened here. So I applaud this judge's effort here. I hope they stick to it. They've got the CEO and the Center for Reproductive Rights behind them, Planned Parenthood, all of the people that actually need to be fighting this fight with them. Nancy Northrop, which is the president and the CEO for this Center for Reproductive Rights, I think she just said it best when she said the court was correct to call this law exactly what it is, a blatant violation of the constitutional guarantees afforded to all women.
Yes.
Women shouldn't be forced to go to court year after year, state after state, to protect their constitutional rights.
Right.
And that's, that really just says it all. I hope that this sends a strong message to the politicians across the country and hopefully North Carolina. This 6-week ban, this is the vaginal ultrasounds that they're talking about, to be even able to pick up on a fetal heartbeat.
Yeah.
You can't do it on a normal machine. So you are forced to undergo an invasive procedure to prove that you are and to see that. And that's just, not only is it unconstitutional, it's just unethical.
Yes. Oh, I completely agree. What's also kind of irritating is that the lawmakers out there, they allocated $400,000 just so they could fight to get these laws passed, these 6-week bans and whatnot. That kind of money could have gone to people who need help, like homeless people or food subsidies or anything else. But no, it's like, no, we're going to use this to push our religious doctrines on the American people. And that, right. I find that's the part I find the most disturbing and disgusting.
How about using that $400,000 to feed these children?
Yes.
That you did not afford these women the right to abort if needed.
Right, exactly. That's what really blows my mind. They say, we want women to give birth, but once you're born, fuck you, you're on your own, and you don't come looking for us for help. They're not pro-life, they're just pro-birth. They just want people to be born. They after that, you're on your fucking own. They don't give two rats' asses.
Right. And I'm not pro-abortion, but I am pro-choice.
Right.
And there should be no issue with this. Again, I will say it, no offense intended to men, but if men could get pregnant, this would never be an issue.
No, I completely agree. If men could get pregnant, there'd be an abortion center right next to every fucking bar in every state. The bar, there's your abortion center, and there wouldn't be an issue.
I worry because already women that are poor have a harder access even getting to these centers. And here, like in North Carolina, they managed to shut down every one but one. Yeah. One place in North Carolina, and even if I was like to go from here, it would take me 4-hour trip to get there, and then a 4-hour trip back.
Yeah.
And even then, they're out there trying to close that one down. It's ridiculous. It is an embarrassment, and I hope to live to see the day that one day I can tell my grandchildren, we fought really hard to get this for you.
Absolutely. And then, you made some excellent points there. If you were to have that happen, and a 4-hour trip, that comes to with gas prices the way they are, that's expensive. Now, that's not even the worst part of it. That's just the first consultation. Then they make you either wait 72 hours or a couple of days or whatever, try to talk you out of it, or you have to go and see some other counselors so they can, who have nothing to do with the medical field. They're just people who put on a white coat and say, yeah, we're professionals. Bullshit. And then
Right.
they fill your head full of garbage and say, well, if you get an abortion, you can't have any more kids, or you're going to get breast cancer, or whatever bullshit that they trying to shove down your throat. And then you say,
Politicians need to get out the medical field, period.
right, exactly. And then they make you go all the way back, and then you gotta go back again. And what about those people who can't afford to even do that? It's so fucking irritating.
I know, it boils my blood.
Yeah, it boils mine as well. Dave, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, this is a good decision. We should. I hope that this does provide a message to politicians that they're fighting a losing battle.
Mhm.
I mean, they're trying to regulate women's vaginas,
Yes.
and frankly, most of them are afraid to say the word vagina.
Oh yeah.
And it's absolutely appalling that women's health and women's rights are being legislated by a bunch of old men.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny is that sometimes I see these pro-life stickers on the back of people's cars, and I get up next to them, and it's usually some old fucking man that's in behind the wheel. You got to be born and all this other stuff, and it's like,
Yeah, in most states, 22 to 24 weeks is considered viable. I mean, if at the point that they're banning abortion, these are fetuses that, and as offensive as people may take this, for all intents and purposes, and by every definitional stance, it's a parasite.
oh yeah, no, you're right.
At that point, it's functionally a parasite, and it's not viable as a human being. It may have the potential for life, but it is not capable of living on its own without its host. And really, at that point, as far as I'm concerned, the rights of the mother and the decision of the mother has to take precedence and is much more valuable and important than the child.
Absolutely.
Really, the potential child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, no, you're right. It's not even a child yet. It's just a fetus. It's just tissue at that point. If we had this kind of problem with people trying to get rid of cancer, say, oh, that tissue, it's very important that you keep that tissue because it's part of you. Then people would be dying of cancer everywhere, left and right.
That's an interesting point, because I mean those are living cells.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, at this point there is a heartbeat, but it can't survive
Right.
on its own whatsoever. There's nothing. It's not viable until 22 to 24 weeks. I
Right.
mean, this is well before that, and the purpose of creating a ban on it this early into pregnancy is specifically just to outlaw abortion altogether.
Absolutely. It's like a trap law, basically.
Yeah, as far as anyone, I mean, as you said, many people, if not most people, do not even recognize that they are pregnant at that point.
Mhm.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because there's the thing is with I know this about women's reproductive organs, is that if you're a lady and you've never had sex before and you have sex for the first time, then that's going to throw your biological cycle all out of whack. Or even if you're sexually active, but you haven't been sexually active in some time, and that'll still happen. And then you don't know if you're pregnant or you're going, or it's just because of this. And 6 weeks is not enough time.
No, not at all. You miss a period after a month. You're 2 weeks late. That could be anything. All sorts of them have all sorts of different amounts of time that they miss periods for, or they may have spotting that they think is a period and it's really not.
Right.
There's all sorts of different situations. It's absurd to think that anyone, no matter how responsible, should be expected to know whether or not they're even pregnant. So by the time they realize it, it's already past that date, and they don't have the opportunity to get the abortion even if they want to. And I don't think that anyone is truly pro-abortion. No one says abortion is something that we should do. I like terminating my pregnancies. No one's saying that. People are saying that we need to have the right to choose whether or not a woman A woman should, not even me. I shouldn't include myself in that statement.
Something you're not telling us, Dave?
But women should have the right to make the decision as to whether or not they want to continue with that pregnancy, especially when it's that early on. And that's the bottom line.
No, Dave, but it's men like you, Packard, the people we all have in the chat room. We're all like-minded like that, and it's a changing of men's attitude that's helping women. So you very much should have a voice in it.
Mm-hmm.
You're helping women by speaking out, doing that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.